This is a quick review of the Grizzly grip truck bed liner that I use to recover our pop-up camper right here. And I'll show you a closer look at the paint in a second. But the Grizzly grip comes in these quarts. The truck bed liner I think is 5 quarts in the box, and that was plenty just to cover the roof. And then I ordered a couple extra quarts to do the rest of the camper. So this is the bottom part I'm sitting next to. There's the spare tire cover, but it was pretty simple, and it seems like a really good product. So it's carried by Midwest Chemicals. You can type in Grizzly grip truck bed liner and you'll find it. I ordered Dove Gray. They've got a couple other cool color options, and they've got the metallic flake option, but the Dove Gray was like a nice neutral gray. At first we had the top gray, and then the bottom was left the old sides of the Coleman camper, which were white with some like rotting graphics, and it looked good. It looked good with just the top gray, but I wanted to go ahead and cover the rest since I wasn't going to put new graphics on, and it went on pretty quick. So they send you these rollers. They're like a really thick fibrous roller, and they are okay. They will do it a job. I don't recommend it if you can. Get a spatula or some sort of flat paint scraper, any flat surface. And what I would do with the top of the camper was I would go and I'd take one bottle at a time, and I'd pour it out in lines. There's another video of a guy on YouTube that does the same thing. You pour it out in lines, and then you kind of spread it around with the spatula or the scraper as much as you can, and then go back in with the roller and kind of backfill those spaces. That worked a lot better because this will clump up tons and tons of paint that you won't be able to get out of here. So you end up wasting a good bit of product. So instead of using one of these, I would recommend just going to the store and getting some, just a really matty brush for thick paint. You can find these anywhere, but this one worked a lot better. It didn't soak up as much, or if it was soaking it up, it would still release it to lay it down. So these rollers, I think, are a better solution. So we used that for the roof. We peeled all the ABS off at first, and some people have a really difficult time peeling it off. Ours it's a 1996, so it's fairly old, and the adhesive, the glue underneath, had come for the most part undone. So I went and put some gloves on because that stuff will cut you. Hand peeled it off, and then I got a little Dremel, or you can use a circular saw if you want, and cut off around the air conditioning vent if you don't want to completely remove the air conditioner if you have one. So I didn't, because I didn't want to have to redo the seals. Ours was not leaking, the air conditioner was good, so I cut that square out around the air conditioner vent, and I'll show you in a second. And then I just went, I bondoed a little bit, but I don't think you need to, and just fill it in with paint, fill it in with a couple different layers of the truck bed liner, and it is really sturdy. There's no movement in it. It did actually fill some gaps for me, so great product in that way. We've had it on for 3 months, and it looks still brand new. No cracking or problems. It seems like a very durable product. And so yeah, the top you kind of pour it on and then back roll it. The sides were a little more difficult because the product will run. So that's where these rollers came in handy. This did the trick, and you just kind of roll it on the sides like any other paint product. And for the most part doing that, the paint stayed in place. I had a couple spots I'll show you that dripped, and they look runny and not as great as I'd like them to look, but they're still fine. So I'll give you a walk around of what the paint looks like on the camper right now. Okay, so this is the camper. There's a chair in the way, but you can tell the Dove Gray, and we did kind of black accents on the railings, and the little stove area right there that holds the stove. But the Dove Gray looks nice, and I did not do a great job. I cut the ABS out around here to leave the roof latches on, and I did a little bit of Bondo, and for the most part I just painted over it, because once this is stuck sturdy in place, it's not going anywhere. So really painting over it, I've got like a great seal around here now. So this is where you can tell it looks a little bit sloppy, but for the most part it looks clean, and it leveled itself pretty well. back up a little bit. Yeah, I think it came out really nice. The products, I think it was like $250 to get the roof done, and then I had a little bit left over, and I ordered a couple extra quarts to do the rest. But I was trying to show a little bit of detail on how the paint settles, and it looks really nice. So I recommend it if you're looking for a solution for your roof. Look into the Grizzly grip, because the people were great to work with. I called and answered questions. It does have a 30-day shelf life, so from the time you get it, you have about 30 days to use it before it starts to thicken up. And you can use some xylene, a little thinner, to thin it out if it does begin to thicken. But really, I would guess like 60 days to 80 days, you're gonna have trouble using it after that. So if you want to get it, just make sure you can use the product within 30 to 60 days. But that is that. Let me show you the AC. Got a tarp over. You can see I just cut around the ABS right here. I took the air conditioning cowl or hood off, and I cut around it, and then I just painted and filled it in. I put a little bit of Bondo right in that one spot, but for the most part I just painted over it, and a couple coats did it really well. So easy enough project. Make sure that you've got a respirator mask though. This stuff's really potent and pretty toxic, I'm sure. So make sure you've got a mask if you're gonna do the application. All right, hopefully that's helpful, and yeah, good luck if you're gonna recover. See ya.